Let's see if any of this works. Alright, let's see if everything is good. Hello everyone, for those who are here, please tell me if you can see me. Hello insert, I see you. Oh, hello. Hiyo, hola. Hello John. Or Joe, yeah, I think Joe? I want to say Joe. Hey Joe. Hello everyone. Those are here. Hope everyone's having an awesome day. We're going to continue what I did the last day. I think it was yesterday or the day before. We're gonna focus on this Psyduck, this Pokemon Psyduck artwork, the one right over my head. I hope you guys can hear me. Are you guys having any lag? I would like to know before I start, because I don't want anyone getting lag and then it's acting choppy. You know, I don't want anything going wrong. Sadly, if something does go wrong, I may have to drop one of y'all. Or at least two of y'all. Can anyone hear me? Everyone's hearing me fine? Let's see here. There we go. TikTok, Vanity. Okay. Alright. So, today, we're going to focus on last time's lesson from this Psyduck coloring situation. So I'm not drawing Psyduck. We're going to apply what this artist is showing. Now, I don't know if this artist is even working anymore as an artist, or he's alive, or I don't know what's happened to this artist, because this artist here, he hasn't posted anything in a long time. So I don't know what's going on with that. This is like almost a decade old. That's how old this video is, but it's still relevant because I want to color like this. So for those who don't know, this box is supposed to help us. So he's going to show us how to do this. Those of you can see this, great. If you can't, and you're having a hard time seeing it, and you want to see a bigger picture of this, I'm on Twitch right now with a bigger version of what I'm talking about, so you can go check it there. Okay? So if you don't like seeing it through the phone, whether on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, the works, you can go watch it on Twitch. Okay? Hope that's helpful. Yes, it's my model. I use it all the time. Just to let you guys know, we're gonna do this side. We're not drawing Psyduck. We're just trying to understand what this artist is doing. So I'm just gonna use a ball just to keep it simple, because I'm pretty sure it doesn't really matter what the object is as long as you're applying the right fundamentals onto said, subject. So I can't hear a thing. You can't hear a thing. Let me see. Can you hear me? Can I see? Oh, hold on. Oh, there you go. Sorry about that. Thank you for saying something, because a lot of people won't say anything until like fucking too late.
Work with.
Hello. I can now. Okay, cool. Alright, so he's going to show us how he does his coloring. So he takes a so he says he starts from brown, from dark to light. He doesn't start with light to uh brown. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to do not the opposite, but I'm gonna follow what he's doing, but not with the same colors. So I'm gonna take my brush. I'm going to oh, I just realized we're under the top layer. So I color this. I realize it kind of multiplies. Don't like that. So we're gonna take one big hard edge brush. That makes more sense like this. Like he did. That sucks. And I think he turns down the opacity.
Actually, I might even make it more mirrored.
I think I'm gonna turn on linear burn. Sorry about that.
Yeah, something like that.
Alright. And now we're gonna
Yeah,
stay in the
I
confines
think Psyduck is so funny.
of this real quick. Then
All
he's
right,
gonna
so instead of just directly picking from the reference that we have with Psyduck, I'm going to go ahead and uh, show again the way that I pick my colors, and then hopefully you guys can get into a habit of picking your own colors as well. And we'll have the light source coming from overhead and to the left. We'll do a very basic light source so that we can show the cast shadow falling from the beak, and then same with his body.
Okay, so we're gonna grab the light. Now we're painting the light. So I'm gonna push the light towards a little this way. And I don't think it'll saturate, so I'm assuming that it's going to be desaturated, and we go up like about here. I'm going to assume that's the color, like this. That will be our color, our light, I mean.
And then our wonderful digital correspondent, he's
We'll
telling
be
me that
doing
it
that
seems
a little bit later. We're gonna be doing that at what time is it's 4. I got on 4. I'll be going on around 7:30 or so. Because if we can get this done in time, we'll do reactions as I do artwork up to that point. So I'm trying to move as fast as possible. I got on very late because I overslept. My bad. I guess so.
seems like there's been a few troubles with other Twitch users on Twitch today, so hopefully it's not just
Just be clear, is anyone
happening with
having
our
any
channel.
form of lag? Is it am I moving weird? Am my character moving strangely? Anything to the contrary? Like, please let me know. I'm just kind of like wondering if you guys are having any hard time watching this stream. Okay. And some of you may ask the question, why does your character keep his eyes closed? I don't think it's me. I don't think it's I think it's the program because it's trying to keep up with the OBS. So there's like a bit of a lag with the blinking. I don't know why it does that where his eyes are completely closed sometimes and it just looks like my eyes are always closed. That's not me. I think it's just the program. I don't know if there's any other better programs when streaming with OBS, but I'm just letting you know. I don't think I have this issue when I'm using TikTok Live Studio, but I know I have this problem when I'm using OBS, especially I'm streaming to several different places. So
I'm gonna get the top of his shoulder, on his belly, and then there's gonna be a cast shadow from the beak. somewhere around here.
Cast shadow.
Then his head will be casting a shadow on his arm as well. So you may only get to see like that much of it. Something like that. And then we'll get a more rounded shadow on the bottom underneath of him. For his eyes, I'm actually going to color pick the light gray from the reference on that one.
You know what? Fuck it. You know what? I'm gonna draw my Psyduck so we can just keep this in. Cause it's gonna cause confusion. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. I'm gonna draw Psyduck real quick so we can just stay on point with him because. Not me. No lag at the moment. Good. That's good. Now I know that now that answers a question. I notice when I'm ever doing streams like this, I don't have to worry about too lag or any issues. Oh, not.
The wild artist says, "How you doing, teach?"
I'm doing well. I'm just doing the lesson that we was doing the other day. So I'm gonna stay on focus and not get, you know, I'm not gonna get sidetracked. Let's draw this real quick. How he has it, so we just keep on point on that. Just make this fast. Okay. I'm actually gonna bring my like this. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna get my symmetrical tool so we just say symmetrical because he did the same thing, but he didn't use a symmetrical tool. He just copy and paste one side and did the other. So I'm gonna see if I can do that too real quick. Yes. Okay. And his hands about here. I would say the like one. So what we're gonna play today, when what we're gonna play today is maybe a bit of Fate Trigger, and then after we're done playing Fate Trigger, we're gonna probably have time to play some Peak. I don't know which one you guys like the most, Fate Trigger or Peak. Maybe Peak. I'm assuming it's Peak. And I'm pretty sure most of you are sick of Battle Royales to a degree. Okay. Hey, Gray. Okay. Now, all I need to do is take most of this side, copy, actually, back, and delete outside of this, copy, paste, flip, hold shift, and pull it like this to a degree. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Okay. Do 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 do. Oh, not that late. Already done. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna turn this. I don't really like how Psyduck is. He kind of looks a little weird. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna combine this. I'm gonna combine these layers right here, and I'm gonna grab my symmetrical tool real quick. This is what I use when making V2B models. For those who don't know what a symmetrical tool is, I'm going to make a new layer, put on a new layer, turn this down real quick, take this, and try to use this as a form of guide. Now we're not trying to copy exactly what we're seeing here, we're just trying to use it as a form of guide. Okay. Shoulder's a little too rounded for me.
Miles Morales says, "Is that my master?"
Hello. 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 Hey, Miles, is whatever.
Miles Morales says, "Hi, master."
Hello. Oh, I remember you sent me a message. I think it was you. Sent me a message you wanted me to look at on Instagram. I'll definitely look if you did. There's something. I think it was you. Hey, Gray.
Miles Morales says yes.
I will look at it after stream. I promise. I'm trying to get a lot of things done and working with brands and stuff. So it's kind of still new to me working with brands per se. So that's been taking up a lot of my time. But I think I'm understanding how this whole brand deal thing works. What do you guys enjoy the most? Me playing Peak or playing Fate Trigger? I'm just curious. And just to let you guys know, I do have a gaming channel you can subscribe to. I'll be posting most of my gaming stuff over there when time gets better. And a reaction channel. So if you want to follow those, it's both on TikTok and YouTube only. So if you want to check that out, you can. I'm going to be solely moving all my gaming stuff over there, so they won't be on the art channel anymore. So people won't get confused and say, "Oh, I thought you were doing art today." I mean, here I'm not here for the gaming stuff, but no one wants to see that. Okay. These arms, I think they're kind of weird looking, so I'm gonna get rid of them. They look too like human, so I'm gonna. Hello. Thank you. Right now we're doing a lesson, so I'm just trying to prepare myself for this. I'm just trying to get this ready and understand coloring. This is a color study that we're doing. So right now I'm just trying to get the model to look closely to the person we're learning from here. That's over my head for those who are watching or paying attention. we go. I think that looks close enough. I think. That I think it looks like side duck to a degree. I'm not really a multiplayer gamer. I'm mostly single player. The multiplayer games I play are Mortal Kombat, COD, and maybe Minecraft. Only played it twice in my life. But Minecraft or wait, which one you played most of your life? Just Minecraft? You could play twice specifically. I would play COD again. The issue with me is that it's not that I don't want to. It's just like the fucking thing is too big. It's like the memory is like it takes too much memory. I can't work with all that. Minecraft I played only twice. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a big fan of Minecraft. I never was, even as a kid. I never really saw the appeal. I just saw it as like digital Legos to me. And I wasn't even a fan of Legos. Like I played with Legos when I was a kid, but I was not a fan of them, right? So like when like playing something like Minecraft was always such a giant chore when my friends wanted to play it, and I would just find an excuse not to play it. But when they convince me to play it, I'll play it with them for the time being. But as soon as anyone says I'm tired or I don't want to play this anymore, I'll be jumping on that bandwagon so fast. It's not that I think it's bad. I just don't find it appealing to me, and that's fine. I don't think that's a bad thing. You know, I think that's it's just just something just doesn't appeal to you, but it appeals to everyone else. It just doesn't appeal to you. Like it's like when everyone says, "Watch this show, it's so good," and then you try watching it, it's like it's not that impressive. Either shows way better than this, or it's just not really clicking with you for whatever reason. Um, so yeah. Let me see here. All right. Let's do this again. Turn it down. I'm gonna get a little closer to this. Now I see that the side duck that he drew. The side duck that he drew, strangely, it kind of like meshes in with the shoulders. I don't know how he managed to do that, but somehow his side duck tends to. Yeah, let's see here. Oop, oop. Thank you for the yeses. I appreciate it. Thank you for the likes. For those who are wondering what that yes is, where it's coming from, it's when people hit the like button a lot on TikTok. I'm trying to figure out how I can get that to work for like YouTube, as well, so you guys can have like special alerts. I think I will have to make a universal alert for all platforms, so it's not like it's just one place. I may have to do that thing for each one, but I think that'll be too much on the OBS, so I may have to just get one universal uh, alert system. So no matter what platform you're on, it pops up where it does. I think I just got a notification just recently that Buy Me a Coffee has now alerts, so I might have to start integrating that into the stream for those who are students of mine or just a supporter. And then that's right. Okay, I think that's the best one. That's the best. Okay, and then I'll put the feet. There you go. Okay. I still don't like how the shoulders are. I don't know why they look like that, but we just have to deal with it for now. This is just a lesson. We're not trying to make a fan art. So if this was more of a fan art, I would probably make this look better. But since we're on time crunch and this is a lesson, or at least a study for me, so I can finally get around doing the V2E models, because I want to color them badly. I just want them to look perfect and don't feel that weird feeling of why that they look like that type stuff. So that's why I'm even doing this. Oh, for those who are wondering, my video, the tutorial that's for perspective will be coming out either maybe Friday. I might post it Saturday, but if it's not, it'll be out next Thursday or Friday. I'll give you guys an update if it's up by then on YouTube, if possible. Okay, that's the closest thing to a side duck we're gonna probably get for right now, given the time crunch that we're on. Okay. And then I'll just put the hair over his head. The hairs that he has. Psyduck. Psyduck. There you go. Psyduck. Alright. There you go. We got our Psyduck. Oh, shit. Still think the arms look kind of weird, but whatever. Alright. Back to what we was doing. So, he has his Psyduck. Oh, he must have put it just for the fuck of it. That's fine. And then here. Oh, and I guess we'll put a little bit of a line here. There we go. The bill has a little bit more of a... Okay, there we go. So I'm going to take this away. Oh, we don't need to take this away. Go like here, or we'll turn this up, right? Make these two the same. Okay. This is over this, and then make this into a linear burn. Uh-oh. Big mistake. Uh-oh. Oh, that's the old one. This one. We want make these two the same. Make them both linear burn. Okay. And then turn them down like so. All right, back to the initial lesson. So he had a. We're not gonna use this blue. We're gonna use a very close color like his. So I'm going to grab this color and put it in there. There we go. I don't think the color matches well, so I'm going to put a little bit more. There we go. I think that's a bit closer. Oh. Hello, Morgan. How goes it? Alright. So, let's
So
go
now
back.
here's an
Oh,
interesting
first thing,
spot where
he put a little color. He's starting from brown. He started from black to light, so we're going to grab this color. I'm doing well. Doing well. Get up. So we desaturate a little bit and we go up value. So I'm going to assume that's how it looks. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Good. Alright. I'll go check. I'll check my bit. I got you. And I'll leave a comment too. See if I did. I understand. Now, okay, he's using. Let me use a different brush because I think what's going on with my brush here, it's like it's adding and it's multiplying every time I use it. So I'm gonna use the crayon I've been using this entire time. I don't think it adds on to it. No, I don't think so. So I'm gonna do what he's doing. Okay. Okay. Uh, okay. I don't. I don't think this is bright enough, in my opinion. I think it should be. No. True. That's a bit better.
you can see the light source passing on the second eye, and right now it's way too light. It's matching the same lightness as the first eye, which doesn't make sense if the light source is predominantly from that side. So instead, that eye is going to be more in shadow. And his bill lighter color. And actually, I'm going to use purple as the base.
Okay, so as far as
Just
I
to add
see it, my light
a
is
nice.
not looking great. So I think the problem is maybe, I'm gonna delete this. Maybe it's the base color itself. So I'm gonna try to get a similar color like this. Okay. Okay. Yes, it is. Okay. And then I'm gonna do it again. He's working from shadow to light, so I'm gonna push this more towards yellow. Desaturate it a little bit, and then go up a little. Hey Fox, what's going on, bro? Hope you're doing well. Hi, who the heck are you? My twin. Are you a twin? I'm not really sure why Nightbot got mad at that. I'm not sure why. That one was bizarre. Sorry about that.
Complement to the yellow that we're using.
The Wild Artist
Then
says
the
Two
area
Hats your
slice, I'm
favorite
gonna do some
Pokemon.
lighter tannish color. And then on the top of his hair, or on top of his head, he's got these three little spokes of hair that he combs every morning. He's looking very dapper. Something like that. John Miller says, haven't lost stream yet. DJ Hud says it's back. Been intermittently cutting off on a few different streams today. Okay, so it sounds like there's been a few reports of not just our stream cutting off. So, oof. um, a few of you guys are wondering what Diglett looks underground, and that's a mystery.
The Wild
Gray
Artist
Zero
says I
Love
collect
says,
Pokemon
do you have
cards
any
have been
advice
for
for
6
picking
years now. I
Pokemon
have over
cards?
2,000 cards.
I
Let's
think my
go.
greatest piece of advice, if you're going to take it in nature.
Alright, so let me see from here, because the shading is on the left side. So I'm gonna assume that everything's gonna fall this way. Okay. So there'll be light here. Okay. Okay, let's go back a little bit because one side feels very like plain. How do you manage to do that? Let's go back again. I'm trying to figure this out. Um, Thank you for the follow. Okay. Just be clear, we're here on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Trovo, and Kick. Well, not on Kick. I don't think we're on Kick. I'll have to check. No, I don't think we're on Kick. We're definitely on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Alright, so let's go back a little bit on what he was saying. Because I was having some hard time trying to figure that part out, what he was trying to do. So
I think that's the way I want to represent him here. All right, sounds like the stream is back. Okay. Whew. Thought you guys were gonna miss Psyduck.
yeah. I think everyone knows that by now.
And he is very simple with his forms. It's basically a sphere on top of a oval egg shape.
Psyduck. Psyduck.
Okay. So now that we have this gorgeous line art to work with, why don't we go ahead and start coloring them? I see Psyduck as definitely more yellow. Oh, you know what though? I'm gonna choose one of the original Frederick colors to work with.
Fox Fenix says hi.
Actually, I might even make it more mirrored. Yeah, something like that. I mean, I think Psyduck is so funny. All right, so instead of just directly picking from the reference that we have with Psyduck, I'm going to go ahead and show again the way that I pick my colors, and then hopefully you guys can get into a habit of picking your own colors as well.
Fox Fenix says I left a neat fact on YT.
Yes, I answered to it. Wait, who said collect Pokemon for 6? Oh, it's Lavender's and I didn't even say hi. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, I know. I have a universal chatbot that speaks in my ear.
And we'll have the light source coming from overhead and to the left. We'll do a very basic light source so that we can show the cast shadow falling from the beak, and then same with his body. And then our wonderful digital correspondent is telling me that it seems like there's been a few troubles with other Twitch users on Twitch today, so hopefully it's not just happening with our channel. I'm going to get the top of his shoulder, on his belly, and then there's going to be a cast shadow from the beak somewhere around here. Then his head will be casting a shadow on his arm as well. So you may only get to see like that much of it.
I think the problem is that the color,
something like that.
The color is not bright enough. I feel like the light is pretty dull. Yeah, I think the color's way too fucking dull. So like, let me go back. How did he pick his light then? Because it's more the light than the darkness. I don't think it's the dark. I think it's literally the. Um,
Oh. And we'll have the light source coming from overhead and to the left. We'll do a very basic light source
so he
so that
just
we can
did it.
show
He
the
didn't
cast
even say
shadow
how
falling
he
from
did
the
it even.
beak, and then same with his body.
Okay, so let's see. I just have to figure that one out on my own. Maybe saturate it. Maybe if I saturate
Then our wonderful digital correspondent is telling me that
So
it
if I
seems
get
like there's
rid of
been a few troubles with other Twitch users on Twitch today, so hopefully it's not just happening with our channel. I'm gonna get the top
Alright,
of his
so if I
shoulder,
grab the color,
on his belly, and then
grab the color, let me try color match it. Maybe if I do that, if I value match it, maybe I'll get what I want. So if I get this, and I want to push that color, I want to say it's more close to here, I want to say it's bright here. So it feels kind of dull there, so I'm going to think it's more desaturated here. Let's see how that looks. No, because this look is vibrant, so maybe I need to make it more saturated. Nah, I don't think so. So it needs to be more. I think now it might be. It might be. Um. Maybe it's more needs to be more towards yellow, and then it goes set. It brands here, and then desaturated about slightly here. Yeah. Hey, hello. Like this, and then like that. Hmm. Oh, like that. I'm gonna assume that the light will be here.
FoxFenX says, is Psyduck your favorite Pokemon?
No. No, it is not. No, it is not. Okay, let me see. I'll explain that in a second. I just need to stay locked in for a bit. Hold on. I will explain what it is. Just like that. Just want to figure this out. Okay. I'm gonna assume that it's gonna be a bit more down here. Okay. I have to hit the hey. It's late for me. Hopefully it's sort of nails. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Burl. I appreciate it. Okay. That's flat. Okay. All right. So that looks. I don't know yet. It's more of the shifting of the hue planes that's happening here, as I see it, than anything. It's a hue shift type thing for every plane I get on top of. So if I okay. Okay. So as I'm going, I'm doing different color shifts of where the direction of the light's coming from. You might see it closely enough if I zoom in. So if you zoom in closely, you can see there's color shifts and hues that, well, not hues, but like the hues is shifting. And it has this weird 3D effect that's happening. And that's on purpose because like it's supposed to show a form of shifting. So like some areas feel slightly more darker, others feel a little bit more brighter, but it intentionally has a sense to them on why they're placed where they are. Trying to figure out if I'm doing it correctly though, and that's where my problem usually lays. I'm doing everything on one layer. I'm trying to think more like a painter than just a digital artist. I think if you think more like a traditional painter, and this is why I tell a bunch of students, I suggest you guys get into traditional works first before you go into digital, because you can apply those experiences onto your digital work, and it makes the transition much easier. Plus, you can use your techniques to have more of an edge for those who just use digital alone. Don't know how to, what's the right word? Try to be either spontaneous or tries to know how to I don't think the word's compromise. What's the word? Improvise. There we go. Know how to improvise on how to run into a situation you're not really sure of. You can use your instinctual understanding on how to, navigate through that. Okay.
And there's going to be a cast shadow from the beak somewhere around here. Then his head will be casting a shadow on his arm as well. So you may only get to see like that much of it. Something like that.
Why would his head be casting off? Wait, he's just
And then
casting
we'll
a
get a
shadow,
more
you said?
rounded shadow on the bottom underneath of him. For his eyes, I'm actually going to color pick the light gray from the reference on that one.
Why does yours?
So now here's an interesting spot where you can see the light source passing on the second eye, and right now it's way too light. It's matching the same lightness as the first eye, which doesn't make sense if the light source is predominantly from that side.
Wait, what?
So
Go back.
instead,
What do you say? Hold on.
that eye is going to be more. Then his head will be casting a shadow on his arm as well. So you may only get to see like that much of it. Something like that. And then we'll get a more rounded shadow on the bottom underneath of him. for his eyes, I'm actually going to color pick the light gray from the reference on that one. So now here's an interesting spot where you can see the light source passing on the second eye, and right now it's way too light. It's matching the same lightness as the first eye, which doesn't make sense if the light source is predominantly from that side.
Oh, okay.
So instead, that eye is going to be more in shadow.
Okay, that makes sense. I get it now. So this eye will be more in shadow, so I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. Like so. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, let me see here. Okay.
And his bill. Lighter color. And actually, I'm going to use...
fuck, I forgot about the bill. Okay. Hmm. Okay.
purple as the base, just to add a nice complement to the yellow that we're using. Then the area in light is going to be this lighter tannish color. And then on the top of his hair, or on top of his head,
Brightroclose
these
says, Good
three little
afternoon, everyone.
Hey, bro, what's going on,
spokes of
bro?
hair that he combs every morning. He's looking very dapper. Something like that. John Miller says, haven't lost stream yet. DJ Hud says it's back. Been intermittently cutting off on a few different streams today. Okay, so it sounds like there's been a few reports of not just our stream cutting off. So, oof. A few of you guys are wondering what Diglett looks underground, and that's a mystery. Gray Zero Love says, do you have any advice for taking your own reference photos? I think my greatest piece of advice, if you're going to take it in nature, try to give yourself the best composition in terms of the lighting scheme that you're working with. I like to work on overcast days if I'm not specifically trying to create a scene with like sun hitting it. I think just because it shows the form more properly rather than being distracted by the light. But if you want to take pictures of like anatomy, I highly recommend that everyone right now just take pictures of yourself and don't feel embarrassed by it. Every artist that I've talked to has done it, and it's something that once you get over the fear of taking photos of yourself and not being embarrassed, then it's like you have a walking anatomy reference with you at all times. So if you ever need anatomy reference, you can always just take a picture of yourself.
I said that before.
All right, I'm going to get, let's see. We're going to put him in. I almost want to be like looking down. Ooh, my bad. When I'm looking down at him, like as if we just kind of came across him randomly. while we were out. So I'm going to put grass underneath of him is what I'm trying
I'm
to
not
say.
gonna lie, having a side duck in the house might be a terrifying thing to have in the house. If it looks like this all the time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be fucking terrified if I had a side duck in the house and it was running around and it had his eyes bulging like this all damn day. Like imagine this motherfucker just walking up on you because he's hungry and you're in bed and he's just sitting at the edge of the room, or he's like in the corner of the bed where you're sleeping just to get your attention to stare directly at you because he just has side duck and stares. I'd be fucking terrified of this thing in the house. It would bother me so much. He can't sleep in the room with me and the wife. He has to sleep outside. He can't be walking up in here on me like this. Just can't. I can't. Bro walk in here saying he's hungry, saying side duck, and then look at me like he's gonna take me out. Dealing with that will piss me off. Okay. Alright. So oh, he did the bill, but I didn't bother with the bill. I think some side ducks is butts. Their bills are not always like the color that we're seeing. I think sometimes they vary in color once in a while. I think. I'm not totally sure. You can probably tell me. Alright, so let's go back to with the bill. I want to know what he was doing with the bill. Oh, that's way too back.
It's going to be more in shadow. And his bill, lighter color. And actually, I'm going to use purple as the base, just to add a nice complement to the yellow that we're using.
So I use purple.
And the area in light is going to be this
purple
lighter
what? Just purple or
tannish
purple
color.
gray? I hate when they do that. I will get real specific
And
in the
I'm actually going to color pick the
tutorial.
light gray
So
from
there's
the
no
reference
question,
on that
so
one.
I don't have to answer a question later on and then have to clarify what I did.
So now here's an interesting spot where you can see the light source passing on the second eye, and right now it's way too light. It's matching the same lightness as the first eye, which doesn't make sense if the light source is predominantly from that side.
Hey, to freeze, what's going on, bro?
So instead, that eye is going to be more in shadow. And his bill,
Okay.
lighter color. And actually, I'm going to use purple as the base, just to add a nice complement to the yellow that we're using. And the area in light is going to be this lighter tannish color. And then on the top of his hair, or on top of his head, he's got these 3 little spokes of hair that he combs every morning. He's looking very dapper. Something like that. John Miller says, haven't lost stream yet. DJ Hud says it's back. Been intermittently cutting off on a few different streams today. Okay, so it sounds like there's been a few reports of not just our stream cutting off. So, oof. A few of you guys are wondering what Diglett looks underground, and that's a mystery. Gray Zero Love says, do you have any advice for taking your own reference photos? I think my greatest piece of advice, if you're going to take it in nature, try to give yourself the best composition in terms of the lighting scheme that you're working with. I like to work on overcast days if I'm not specifically trying to create a scene with like sun hitting it. I think just because it shows the form more properly rather than being distracted by the light. But if you want to take pictures of like anatomy, I highly recommend that everyone right now just take pictures of yourself and don't feel embarrassed by it. Every artist that I've talked to has done it, and it's something that once you get over the fear of taking photos of yourself and not being embarrassed, then it's like you have a walking anatomy reference with you at all times. So if you ever need anatomy reference, you can always just take a picture of yourself. All right, I'm going to get, let's see. We're going to put him in. I almost want to be like looking down. Ooh, my bad. When I'm looking down at him, like as if we just kind of came across him randomly while we were out. So I'm going to put grass underneath of him is what I'm trying to say here. James Frio says, Tim, speaking of hair, we were saying earlier that your hair is on point today. It literally does come to, there's like a point. Is this the way my hair goes? Or is it this way? This way. Yeah, like literally, I looked in the mirror, I was like, it literally came to a point. McKinney says, Tim, we live in a world of selfies. I don't think many of us are worried about taking pictures of ourselves for reference. Very true. And you know what? Some people are not the biggest fan of Psyduck, but I love Psyduck.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is sometimes when we're out playing Pokemon Go, people will like be disappointed in seeing a Psyduck. They're like, Psyduck. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll take a Psyduck.
Do people still play that? People still play Pokemon Go? That's still a thing?
No, we'll keep it more like that. Okay, so now I'm going to do a cleanup, and then we'll start detailing it. I have like, I have 30 minutes? Okay, we'll definitely make a nice looking Psyduck in the 30 minutes we have. So you can see, even without the line art, you can tell the forms of the body because of the way that we placed on our values and the way that we placed on our lighting. So we don't even need the line art anymore to separate our forms because the value pass did it for us.
Value pass, got
So
it.
now I just get to have fun with you guys for the next half hour while I paint on the rest of Psyduck here. And I really wanted him to be like looking up at us. Like, are you going to catch me or not? I'm just going to sit here until you catch me. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to argue. I'll just wait. And I'm noticing he actually does have sort of a bump on the beak. So I'm going to represent that with value too.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that myself.
Nugo guy says, your Magikarp turned into Gyarados yet? Oh, actually, let me grab my phone really quick. So I was told by one of my friends that I should level up my Magikarp before I evolve him. So it's not a Gyarados yet, but let me show you guys something. All right, can you guys see that? So there's my Magikarp, my beautiful little flopper. It's at 194. And I finally have enough candy. So I'm going to wait until I go out next time with my friends and play so I can throw down my lucky egg, and then I'm evolving him. It's kind of a big moment in my life.
Karma. Chameleon says hi, Bri and Art just stopping by.
Hey, Mike. What's going on, bud?
And you know what? There'd be a cast shadow from these little hair plucks that he has up here. And then if you guys missed last week, I'm going to do the same thing in where I adjust the colors and have fun with it near the end. Because it's something that I almost do on every piece I do. And I just really think it really helps the image overall. So hopefully you guys can start experimenting with that too. See if you like the way it looks on your pieces.
What's going on, bud?
James Frio says, Tim, in all seriousness, how the hell did you catch that many Magikarp? I can't find more than one or two at a time. I live really close to a river in Waukesha.
Okay. Not bad. There is form there. We can see the form. We can obviously see the form. We need a little bit more. Not that bright, that's too bright. Yeah. I don't know. I think we're near the right place. I think it hits, but it doesn't hit enough. Like it's the concept is there, but it needs more refining. It looks 3D. It looks like a side duck, but it's lacking, I think, vibrancy. The form is there. We can see 3D form. You can kind of see it. Even if I take away the line art, you can still see and figure out it's a side duck to a degree. The issue is that the brightness of the colors are not vibrant enough like his. And that's where the problem's kind of stemming a little bit. There are a few other minor issues, but it's not that bad compared to like the overall arcing problem is that the colors are not on par with each other. That makes sense. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. This session is done. Done for now. I'm saying. We're gonna go and do the little bit of some reactions because I know that's what you guys sometimes look forward to seeing, instead of seeing my opinion or at least watching thing with me while I work a little bit longer on this. We're gonna do that for till 7. Until 7 o'clock, we will start playing Fate Trigger, and at 8, we'll play 1 hour of Fate Trigger, and then at 8, if we have time, we'll play Peak till probably 10. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. It depends on how things are going. All right. So I'm gonna hold off on this. I'm gonna come back to this again. Um. Why do I do that? Okay. All right. I think it looks
Karma.
like Psyduck.
Chameleon says, man, you got a busy stream schedule there, Art.
Yeah. All right. We're done showing him off. Thank you so much, CG Cookie. All right. So I have a few videos here. A few. First, we'll start with doom and gloom, and then we'll work our way up to positive. So we can at least get like positivity ended with that. Hey Chance, what's going on? Oh wait, things that back up. There we go. There's something else I want to add. Okay, so we'll do this one. It's with Aspen Gold.
Bank things.
I hope you guys can hear it.
If you've tried to buy a game on Steam recently,
so there's a big problem with Steam right now where well, not a big problem, but it is going to be a concerning problem where PayPal kind of like disassociates itself from Steam, I guess because of the whole like executive order on the whole bank thing. Because I don't know, PayPal's on their bullshit, so this is what's happening.
you might have seen this message. Valve has announced the removal of PayPal as a payment option in many countries.
Wow.
This is not a bug or a mistake. It's part of a bigger problem. The biggest question is, why is this only happening in certain countries? Now, you might remember 1 month ago when we first talked about the collective shout, Steam adding a new rule, and the mass removal of games, that it seemed like PayPal was involved.
Wow.
This is because right at that same time,
What happened?
it seemingly stopped working. It was unknown
What
if
the
this was
fuck?
some bug, a coincidence, or actually related to the situation.
Yeah,
now, when you try to use PayPal in an unavailable country, you get this official statement from Valve. Steam stated in early July 2025, PayPal notified Valve that the requiring bank for payment transactions in certain currencies was immediately terminating the process of any transactions related to Steam. This is important because
Oh, what's the bank? What's the bank that did that? Uh-oh.
an acquiring bank is the bank that handles payments on a company's side. Think of it as the bank that collects the money for Steam. They go on to say this affects currencies other than Euro, Canadian dollar, British pound, Japanese yen, Australian dollar, and the United States dollar.
Yeah, so they're trying to exercise this soft power that they have in countries that aren't well regulated in order to try to put pressure on Steam to do what they want. That's what it seems like is happening.
But what I don't understand is what is the point of this so-called power that Asmongold's talking about? Because like, well, it's not him talking, but like, what is the point of this power? Is like, don't you want to make money? Does it matter what it is? Right? Why does it matter? If it's long as it's legal and you can buy it and I purchase it and I'm a consenting adult, what the fuck does that matter? Aren't you like a business? Isn't your whole like entity is supposed to be making money the best way you can? Why would you eliminate yourself from making enough money to, I don't know, in a legitimate but legal way? Like, I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. just because you're trying to be morally superior. That's bullshit.
Means that for every other currency in the world, PayPal is no longer a payment option to buy Steam games. They continue by saying, "We hope to offer PayPal as an option for these currencies in the future, but the timeline is uncertain. We're also evaluating adding additional payment methods on Steam for the customers affected
That's
by
what they
this.
need to do.
In the meantime, please use one of our other current payment methods during checkout. If you can't use any of the available options, you can consider using a Steam wallet code to add funds to your account." This confirms that they are actively trying to fix a problem that they did not create. But this statement also leaves us with a massive question. If the problem is with Steam's content, why would the bank only care about certain currencies? Why is PayPal still working?
It's because they can only control those currencies. That's why they're not controlling the larger international currencies like CAD, USD, and euros. But they can exercise this in smaller countries that don't have the same level of legislation. That's why.
Perfectly fine in big markets like the US and the EU. One person on Reddit decided to call PayPal's customer service in Poland to get an answer. The lady insisted I contact Steam because they were the ones who pulled the plug because Steam prefers customers to use their balance. When the user read the official Steam message to the rep, she became irritated and hung up. Does this sound familiar? Because it should. This is the same thing we saw with MasterCard and Visa.
These people need to get audited. That's what they need to do. The government's got to come in and audit them and figure out like who's doing this. Big time. Yeah, just go through discovery, subpoena all the data, all of the different call logs, all of the different transactions, communication, and just figure this out. It would take like 5 seconds to figure this out.
Those companies put pressure on Steam, they then publicly denied it. So Valve had to be the one to tell the public the truth. It's clear that PayPal is now doing the same thing, blaming Steam to avoid talking about their own actions. When you put all the facts together, it shows a clear connection. This is a bigger plan to control what people can and can't buy online.
That's right. Yeah, the banks are trying to create a monopoly on currency and a monopoly on trade in order to force certain viewpoints and ideologies into the mainstream that the public isn't accepting.
Yeah, that's not going to go well. This is why people are jumping to crypto. This is why. I'm pretty sure we all figured that one out, but just Jesus Christ.
And I think this goes beyond viewpoints and ideologies. It goes into culture. It goes into values, and it goes into everything. That's what they're doing. They're doing that intentionally, and they're trying to push it. They've been doing this for a long time. And you should don't let them do it. No, there's no reason to let them do it.
I'm not going to lie to you. There was a situation where I went to a convention. It was last year. I think it was last year. I think it was 2 years ago or last year. And at the convention where I went to go have fun with my family, the convention was a cosplay anime thing. And I've been to this convention many times before, and something was very different about the convention. What was weird about the convention was that they had a kiosk type thing where if you wanted to purchase stuff within the convention, you had to convert your money in this Chinese like kiosk like digital currency thing where you take your real money and convert it into like this weird in-store like currency for the store alone. You can't just use literally money. You have to use like this weird play money that you're converting your money to. Yeah, jeez. And then you're converting your money to oh my eye. You're converting your money to this particular currency. So if you want to buy something, you have to use theirs. And it was very weird because I'm like, if I have money, just take my US money. And what made it worse was like what what made it I don't know about that. What made it annoying was like the whole process of doing it every time because you had to put the money on a card, and when the money ran out, you had to get a brand new card to put new money. So you couldn't use
Brightro says at Karma Chameleon, hi Mike.
You couldn't use money, like you couldn't get like one card and just refill it with your own money. You had to get a new card every time. It was very weird. One of the most weirdest things. So if you put like $15 on a card and you use the $15, you can't go up to the kiosk and say, "Oh, I have $50. I want to put on this same card." No, you have to, or like a what do you call it? I forgot what's the term, but like you can't just refill it. You have to get a brand new card every time. That shit was annoying.
I mean, you should have laws that regulate this and prevent it from happening. And yeah, it's insane. Money's a great start to control. Yeah, if you can control the money, you can do that. How did all these ideal pushing fascists get into power? Because who do you think goes after power? People with ideals that want to push it.
Correct.
Situation,
It's the
it
power
all began
paradox.
with an activist group asking payment companies to stop handling
Should have never
payments
done it.
for games with sexually explicit content. MasterCard and Visa were some of the first to act, which led to Steam's new rule. MasterCard denied doing this, but Valve's statement proved they were the ones responsible.
Yeah.
At that exact same time, the game store itch.io had its payment services
Well, and it's
with
also like I immediately believe Valve because they've done this with other people too. They've debanked multiple other groups of people. They've debanked organizations. This is very common that they do this. And they've even, I think a Japanese person at Visa even said that they did it to protect their brand. So, I mean, they've said they did this. They've done it in the past. I mean, this is a pattern of behavior at this point.
Stripe removed. Stripe's statement was clear, saying it couldn't support this kind of content because of its banking partners. This proves that these banks and payment companies are indeed the ones stopping the payments.
And again, like if you were the government, like and you could control this, you could figure this out instantly, right? Like you say, who isn't? Okay, well then they're the ones that are the problem.
Now we have the exact same thing happening with PayPal. A bank on PayPal's side has ended its agreement with Steam. The fact that all these events happened at the same time makes it impossible to think that this is just some wild coincidence. Now, you might be wondering, why was PayPal only removed for some countries? They start by making changes in smaller markets with fewer legal protections. This allows them to test their power and put pressure on companies without risking their biggest markets like the US and the EU. This strategy is meant to force companies like Valve to agree to their demands everywhere without a major fight. The good news is that Valve is not giving up. Their statement that they are actively looking for new payment methods for affected customers is a big sign that they are fighting for gamers.
Then what's going to happen is that Steam is going to eventually have to come to the conclusion that they're going to use probably crypto. That might be a thing. I don't know if they do that even now, but like that's going to be more of a thing than ever, I guess.
And will not be pushed around by these companies, although they sort of have to right now.
Well, so they're going to have to. They're going to have to work with them to an extent, right? I mean, like it's an extent, but I think that these companies are doing it on purpose, and I think that again, there needs to be a investigation, like an antitrust lawsuit about this that puts all of these communications into discovery for the courts. I think that's what needs to happen. That's what hasn't happened yet, and it's a huge problem that it hasn't. If it does, I would be so happy, because that's really where we're waiting.
PayPal ban is not a bug. Whether it's the banks, card networks, payment processors, they all try to deny any of this is happening.
What a surprise.
But there is a clear history, not just with Steam, but for all kinds of reasons. It's getting so big that we have the Japanese government and even Donald Trump stepping in to stop this from happening by signing a new executive order.
Elon needs to buy back PayPal? No, you don't understand. Like, it's great to have somebody like Elon Musk that's doing this in a way that is beneficial, that you and I agree with, but ultimately a good billionaire in charge of a situation is still a problematic situation, period. It's not like it automatically makes the situation good. It just makes it palatable in the meantime.
He's not wrong.
Like, nobody lives forever. I mean, I don't know, at least so far. And so the problem is that you can't rely on good actors. If you could just rely on good actors, we wouldn't need any laws.
Right. You need a good system. I think that's what he's trying to say. You need a good system. And when you don't have a good system, there's so much good actors can do, whether to an extent, good actors tend to put a mitigation on things for whatever time they're around, whether they're still working or they're not retired or they're not dead. And once those three things are happening, that's where all the floodgates go off. It's like what was it? When Spider-Man wasn't being Spider-Man anymore in Spider-Man 2, when he chose not to be like Spider-Man for a good time, there was more crime happening than ever because good actors, metaphorically, Peter, when Peter stopped becoming decided not to be Spider-Man for God knows when, I think for a good few months, you can see there was a drastic uptick in like criminal behavior. So once that good actor is removed, the problem is like, is the system that was being protected good enough to hold on its own? And if it can't and it needs Spider-Man to be there, that's a problem. I'm saying like the fail-safe is not Spider-Man. The fail-safe is the system must learn from what Spider-Man's doing and cultivate a way for it to protect itself in a way that if Peter or Spider-Man per se, whatever Spider-Man we're referring to, whether it's Peter or Miles Morales or Gwen, is not in presence, at least the system can protect itself. So he's not wrong with that whole good actor thing.
You need to have rules.
Fair banking for all Americans. We even got a statement from the chairman of the FDIC mentioning how they are going to be adding a new rule so these financial companies have to stop using reputational risk as a reason to deny business.
Easy.
So now we have massive.
See how fucking easy that is? All you do is you make it a law. Problem solved.
Card trying to remove service on Steam through their acquiring banks, PayPal removing service on Steam for a bunch of countries because of their acquiring banks, and Stripe removing service on itch because of their banking partners. So this is clearly a massive problem that needs to be fixed. In 6 months though, the government will officially have a strategy on stopping this from happening, which could include new laws and regulations, but obviously this might not help everyone around the world, like what we are seeing with PayPal removing service in select countries. The best part about this new statement though is that Valve officially confirms that they are working on new payment methods, especially for the affected countries. We have joked about the idea of Valve Pay, but Valve joining the payment space to avoid these problems really doesn't seem like a stretch anymore. Around 20...
I think that a lot of people...
I'm not familiar with Valve Pay. What is Valve Pay? Is that... Wait, what is that? What is Valve Pay? What makes it different? What makes... Oh no, it's just Valve's currency. I think that's what that is.
People want to have a payment processor that's a payment processor. Not a sensor, not a method of control, just a processor that processes payments. It's literally that simple.
12 to 2013, Valve became concerned that Microsoft's new Windows 8 and its App Store model could threaten Steam's dominance.
Windows 8, not a good time.
PC gaming. This worry directly led...
Uma Musume is number 1? Oh my god. Holy shit, can you believe that?
Gaming. This worry directly led Valve to create its own operating system, SteamOS, to reduce its reliance on Windows. Anyone who knows about SteamOS now, it outperforms Windows on gaming benchmarks. With this being such a big issue, that clearly shows how these companies like Steam heavily rely on these payment companies, and Gabe Newell loving to be a game changer from his deep sea marine research to his neuroscience brain implant company, I wouldn't put it past them to try to make a solution. We also can't forget Elon Musk, who is aware of the Steam censorship and has mentioned he is working on XPay. So this is a problem that we are dealing with right now, but hopefully it will...
It's like having Elon Musk do it would be great, right? But at the end of the day, that's still one person, right? You've got to have more to it than just that. I mean, it kind of goes without saying, but yeah, it's literally just that simple. But for some people, they don't really get it.
Be fixed soon. Do you think we can see Rule 15 removed from Steam by next year?
Yo, what's up, guys? We are in Dallas, Texas today.
Yeah, I mean, there it is, and Elon will stop them. You know, I mean, I think that really the problem is not exactly Elon. It's not like
if you've tried to buy a game on Steam,
you can solve a symptom by replacing it with a better symptom, but at the end of the day, you still have the same problem. You really see that, like, you get the point, right? Is like, just because you have a positive disease, it's still a disease. You don't want to have any diseases. Like, you don't want to have this weapon be usable by anyone. That's the issue, is that you can't have this weapon exist, period. Now, obviously, the next best thing is to have it be used by somebody that we agree with or we're aligned with, right? Which I think Elon on these issues, I am pretty much completely aligned with him on these issues. I think most people are. And yeah, wasn't Elon the early founder of PayPal? I think he was. Yeah, he was. And so, like, but what he did with PayPal in like 1999 isn't today, right? I don't believe Elon at all, to be honest. Why? I mean, Elon clearly followed through with what he promised with Twitter. He did. He unbanned Alex Jones. He unbanned Nick Fuentes. He unbanned Donald Trump. He basically enforced freedom of speech. He did it. He delivered. Like, he said he was going to do the thing. He did the thing. That's it. And so, yeah, I would fucking believe him. So, and also, like, by the way, like, why wouldn't he want to do that? Like, it's another method of him having more control over economies and having another vector of business that he can operate under and function under. It's common sense that he would want to do this himself. Of course he would want to do this. Yeah, it's more vertical integration for all of his businesses. It's more money, more control, more in-house decision-making. You're removing another outside actor. It aligns with his decision-making completely. So, yeah, it's really just that simple. And Elon isn't enforcing freedom of speech because he's still censoring things he personally doesn't like. Well, before we move on, I'd like to, like, let me give the video a like. I mean, Waters made a lot of really good videos about this topic, and I agree with him. Can you give me an example of that? Can you give me an example of Elon banning people because he doesn't like them? Because I hear this all the time. I hear people say this, but I never hear any examples. And I think that's very weird. He deleted people's posts about him with Ghislaine Maxwell. How do you know that he deleted them? Like, I mean, so a post got deleted. And so let me get this straight. So there was a post on Twitter, and it's not on Twitter now. And you've instantly come to the conclusion that it was Elon that deleted it himself. Is violating TOS? Maybe it is. I don't know if it violated TOS or not. You remove your check mark? Yeah, but, like, I mean, that's not removing somebody's freedom of speech. Like, it's just not. Like, I understand, like, that was dumb, but, like, are we really gonna act like these are the same things? They're obviously not. Like, if I go and I post this, look. Silencing critics, this is for 2 years ago. So some guy got suspended for something. Who knows what happened? I mean, look at all these photos. So clearly you're not getting banned, and you can clearly say this on Twitter. I mean, it's literally right there. I mean, it's obviously not.
So let me get this straight. He takes, like, okay, let's just say Elon did delete like 5 messages, but there's like thousands of them criticizing him every day. And he knows he can't get to all of them.
He got Streisand affected by it? It's not Streisand effect. It's like, obviously people are going to post photos of him with her. Like, I don't think you need a Streisand effect to this. Like, come on, man. Like, you're really going that far with it? You're really going that far? Elon doesn't censor X? Yeah, I mean, again, so he tried to censor it, but then he couldn't. So the example that you have of him censoring is him not censoring. Good one. That's great. Yeah, thanks a lot. We really appreciate your input. Thank you so much. But yeah, I pretty much, like, I mean, this bullshit with the payment processors, I think, is ridiculous. I'm very glad to see more people putting control on it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so today's topic is going to be about
wait, what's that?
apparently Roblox.
Bright Roclose says lol.
I don't care about that. That's already beaten to a horse. We lost PayPal forces Steam to censor itself for brand protection and Valve calls. Don't want to hear that. Okay, so this one is from Endymion. And it says here, what the F is Battlefield doing now? Something is going on with Battlefield. I was going to play this game, but I need to get the Fate Trigger thing out of the way. So I don't know if we're going to get to play Fate Trigger at all, because I think the beta's over. I'm pretty sure yesterday was the last day, like I mentioned, but I'm not totally sure.
Beta has been a roaring success. People worldwide are enjoying the epicness that's on offer, and it's led to the franchise now coming back in a really big way. But despite that, there's been problems, like always. There's from cheaters being exposed, cheat sites pressuring the community to bend the knee, and all the money that could be gained or even lost based on the outcome of Battlefield 6's performance. It's a lot to go over. And currently, as Insider Gaming reports here,
I wanted to play this game with Mike because I know he's a big fan of playing Battlefield, and people saying this Battlefield is pretty good, so if the game is good, I'll get it, but I don't know.
Battlefield 6 has already made $600,000 in sales confirmed on Steam alone, with another 2.7 million wishlists already. Not counting taxes and whatnot or currency exchanges, the game has made about roughly $42 million in pre-order sales on Steam alone. And then once you factor in PlayStation and Xbox, I imagine that it's much higher than even that. Like I said, anticipation is through the roof. This looks like the game to bring Battlefield back in a big way. Of course, that is if DICE and EA can keep the game from being crippled by cheaters and then some. Then there was the big viral moment, maybe you saw it, which was this Riley CS user who's a streamer that played the Battlefield 6 beta. And they ended up going mega super viral because everyone accused them of cheating. Here's their footage on screen of them playing the game. Can't really use the audio attached because they have Linkin Park playing in the background, so that's a copyright issue. But as you can see, this Riley is shooting people with laser-focused, almost borderline robotic aiming. Especially
Are you kidding me?
There,
I came that same problem on Fate Trigger. You guys saw it yesterday. I think it was yesterday. And I was doing an ability where my character can jump way up in the air. I think that's for reconnaissance purposes. They can jump way up in the air higher than anyone else because that's one of her abilities. And as soon as I passed a building, it was not even like a tall building. As soon as I passed like a mid-level building.
Brightroclose says, hey, at least they have good taste in music.
True. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, bro. These have good taste in music. But like when I jumped literally past the little okay. When I passed the little building, I instantly got headshotted. Like, bro, that was insane. Like, that was not a shot like I was in the air and then I got sniped. I got sniped as soon as I left the literal ground. Like, no more than half a second, I jumped. I got literally sniped instantly. I was like, bro, what? There's no way. And the angle the person shot me from was insane. My teammates even said that dude was cheating. They was having, like, they could not. It was insane. They could not do it.
And then immediately turns to the left to shoot someone they can't even see or be reasonably aware of themselves.
Correct.
And then their cursor spins them in an unnatural way towards what is a solid rock, which the enemy is obviously behind. A lot of people, myself included, this made me believe that this Riley person was cheating here, because there's no way that you would be able to pinpoint exactly there to know that there was even an enemy behind this rock who was behind you as you're dealing with these other people around you, only to then swing around and then aim directly at them without you even knowing that they existed, yet unless you were like the Flash from DC Comics and you're superhuman with your reflexes, this would be impossible. There's more examples of this too. I mean, there's parts in Riley's footage where they're aiming at people who are completely engulfed in smoke. And there's actually no way that they could have known that that enemy was there because the way that Riley is snapping towards these combatants, it's borderline unnatural.
And remember, when you're playing a game like Battlefield, it's insane because like everyone's wearing like similar clothing, but the camouflage is there tends to do very well within the environment you're in. So it's sometimes hard to see certain people or certain characters, especially if they're in a static pose or they're proning on the floor or something. That'll be really hard to see, and it's hard to see already. Like, it's hard to see just like if you're playing the game. if it's one thing if they're moving and whatever case, you can see them, but like if they're literally staying in a corner in camouflage that really meshes well with the background, it's very hard to see them unless you are pretty up on them or so.
And it's very evidently clear that they're cheating. They just haven't been caught using whatever cheat tools that they're using yet. Of course, people have asked why would this Riley, or any other person I guess, use cheating in Battlefield 6 or any game really to stream? The simple answer is that people like watching people that are good at playing games. Sure, there's enjoyment to watch someone like a DSP struggle like he was just born yesterday playing a game. But there's a reason why a lot of the top streamers, game-wise, are usually the best players in those games. Because viewers get to see crazy plays and things that they would not naturally get to see, like massive kill streaks. Or multiple victory royales in like a battle royale game. The other major reason why these users would be implementing cheating software is also simple. It's because it allows them to convey the idea that they are better than they actually are at the game that they're playing, so which means people will obviously watch them. Because I don't know about you, but nobody would really want to watch them if they were instead spawning and then dying and then spawning again, only to immediately get sniped in the head. Viewers would obviously click off the thing. So the reason why they cheat is to build a following, gain subscribers, and ultimately make money off playing games, and then passing off their ability to do these insane things as legit when it usually isn't. Riley has obviously tried to push back and say they're not cheating, which I personally don't believe for a second. As this user said to Riley, blatant, obvious cheating, and Riley replies saying that they aren't. Another user would also say, cheating below 720p is impressive. I must say my eyes were screaming watching these vids. Again, Riley says they aren't cheating. This user then replies saying what I said earlier, how Riley managed to somehow lock immediately onto an enemy behind a solid rock, as if they would have some weird aim assist that goes through solid objects, and I'm glad that I'm not the only person who has noticed or pointed this out. Look, obviously, as of now, nobody can technically prove that Riley has cheated, but it split the community in half, with some saying that this Riley person is legit, while a mass majority claim that they're cheating. Then you have, and this is one of the cruxes of the video, which is people defending Riley, claiming that if you believe that they're cheating, that instead you're transphobic. Great. Here we go again.
And this is, and it's statements like this is why people don't take the T seriously. This is why people don't take this shit seriously in the slightest, because when that had nothing to do with the argument in the slightest, how does that have to, how am I supposed to know a VTuber is that, till the VTuber even says that? I'm pretty sure everyone was focusing on the aiming, not the orientation of the individual. I don't understand how that makes any fucking sense. Anyone who's saying because of that, you are coping hard, bro. You're coping super hard. That makes no sense.
No, Riley is a trans woman. This somehow means that Riley is shielded from any and all criticism because of their identity as a human being. Which, sorry, but no, it does not work that way. I don't care what you identify as. My entire channel is full of me saying this. But being trans or gay or whatever you want to call it, it doesn't suddenly put you above others when it comes to who you are or when it comes to criticism.
No, they just think it's 2016.
None of that stuff means anything anymore, especially these days. Claiming the Battlefield 6 community is somehow transphobic because they're stating that Riley is cheating. That's not what that word means. Here's one user who uses the monkeys from the latest Superman movie while saying, if you're still posting thinking that Riley was cheating, at this point just know you look like this. Except no, not at all. That's not how this works. Or this other user who said, ever since I started defending Riley, I started being able to hit shots like this. Coincidence? Wow, you got a single good clip of you playing a game that's just a few seconds long. Tell me again how this has anything to do with this person being trans again. Or this user who says, how casual gaming community treating, how while posting gifs of people burning witches on crosses. Good lord, dude. Again, why are we pretending like just because you're trans, it suddenly means that you're not allowed to be criticized when it comes to things? Aren't we past this whole mentality already?
No, some people didn't get the system update.
Cares what you are anymore. Being any one thing doesn't suddenly mean that you're above the criticisms of anyone else. It also doesn't mean that the Battlefield fanbase is suddenly transphobic. What it does prove is that the Battlefield fanbase is, and rightfully should be, vehemently against the concept of cheating in video games. Because this crap hurts actual legit paying customers. Look, if I were to stream myself playing Battlefield, I would be screaming half the time. While buildings are blowing up all around me and I probably would be dying aplenty, I'm not going to pretend like I'm a battlefield savant. I'm decent at the game, but resorting to aimbotting so people will follow and give you donations, in my opinion, honestly, that is peak loser behavior. Of course, in case you didn't notice, a lot of people defending Riley are also trans themselves. It's like they form a protection barrier around each other.
No, they have a hive mind thinking. It's hive mind thinking. It's a hive mind thinking. It doesn't matter what the criticism is about. You just have to make that particular thing integrate it in any which way into whatever you want to talk about. So if I'm like, say if I'm criticizing my mod, they're gonna bring up their orientation every time. So if I said to Bri, hey Bri, I kind of noticed that lately you haven't been doing a lot of like banning people when they come in. You kind of just let them do what they want. We need to like step up, buddy. I think we need to like really focus on getting those bans in when those people are being like kind of like out of line. So next time, let's do that. And then the first thing that comes out of his mouth is, "Oh, you're just doing this because I'm the T. I like T." And I just look at him like, bro, are you fucking serious? I'm talking about you banning people. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? That has literally have nothing to do with anything. And I'm saying that'll be crazy. That'll be wild work. Somehow, you not pressing a button has to do with your orientation. That is crazy.
To just bounce criticism off and use whataboutisms to deflect any legitimate claims against them. And also, if you're enjoying the video, consider liking the video, leaving a comment, and subscribing to keep up to date with stuff. But it doesn't also work that way because the world has changed now when it's come to transphobia and transgenderism and gay stuff and all this other nonsense. I'm just tired of anyone thinking they somehow live in like a protected class anymore, and therefore they're just able to do whatever they want or say whatever they want without ridicule or pushback. Even Tectone responded and said, "You are a grown man pretending to be a child cat girl. You're using aimbot in an open beta because you can't hack at as a real streamer."
Bro just came he went for the jugular. Bro went for the jugular. He didn't care. He just, oh man, he hit that battlefield venom and he just went for the jugular with a knife. He didn't care.
Brightroclose says, well dang.
Like, damn.
Brightroclose says, LMAO.
You will be in the unemployment
This proves things are changed
line in 6 months if you're not there already. While Tectone's words are a bit harsher, there's truth in what he said. The reality is that streamers cheating is really nothing new. Neither is secular groups trying to claim that others are phobic for speaking out against them being a new concept either. But neither of these things also protect you, and if you're a streamer, trust me, as someone who does YouTube and is technically a public figure, I guess, it doesn't suddenly mean that you're protected against criticism. It actually opens you up to it more, and you should be aware of this instead of trying to cry about it. People are not any form of phobic just because they're tired of what is clearly blatant cheating in their online video games, as I said in a previous Battlefield video. This cheating situation will make or break Battlefield 6's momentum as a premier AAA shooting experience going forward. As Insider Gaming showed here, at least 80% of players online have encountered cheaters according to a new study, as they stated. In a new report headlined by PlaySafe ID, it has been revealed that a staggering 80% of gamers representative per the report have come across a cheater in an online game. This has led to a whopping 42% of players considering quitting their game because of the...
This might be probably why I keep getting shot in the back sometimes. Now I know that doesn't have to do with the cheating, but sometimes I've even come across people who would just get like almost like an insta kill on me, like almost insta
influx of cheaters. I would consider.
And I'm not talking about using like a sniper because I get that, but like
myself in that 42% because I've been playing a staggeringly less amount of online games as time goes on, simply because of the nonsense like cheating becoming so prevalent literally everywhere. I remember playing Fortnite when there was like a glitch there where people could just keep themselves alive infinitely in the storm. So they would just sit in the storm where you can't see them and then shoot you and then win. I mean, Apex had this too when it first came out. Stuff like this just ruins the games that you play. Like, why even bother, trying, knowing that you're just going to get farmed by some catgirl streamer who is totally not cheating, guys, but is shooting you because their software alerts them to your presence. And this is a big deal because, as that same report states, from the slew of those impacted by cheaters, 55% admitted that they've either stopped or reduced how much they spend on microtransactions or in-game purchases because they don't trust the game. Absolutely, I stopped playing certain games due to cheaters, and once you start throwing in nonsense like the community claiming that you're transphobic, or something like what's happening here, it makes you not even want to start playing it even more in the first place. Also seen from that same report, 71% of players would actually be okay with verifying their IDs online if it meant that cheating would be lessened if real identities were attached to their profiles. So that just opens a whole other can of worms. It could be a way of fixing it as well as circumventing toxicity if people's names and identities, alongside their player profile, will get banned as well, but then you're sacrificing even more anonymity to fix a problem that you didn't start to begin with. And my problem with what's happening with this Riley character is that, as easy as it may be to report them for cheating, so too would it be for people to report you for being allegedly transphobic or something else. Now imagine your real government ID is attached. What then? You get labeled phobic, banned for speaking out or something, and now you can't play anything because your ID was attached to it? Again, another can of worms. But there's a big reason why cheaters wouldn't want Battlefield 6 and more to crack down on them in the future, because cheating is a big business, and I mean this. This comes from Games Radar. As Battlefield 6 cheats already infest the open beta, studies estimate that as many as 80 sites make up to $73 million selling them for the FPS, and many others. So this study comes from the universities of Warwick and Birmingham over in England from an academic paper which states that cheats selling for up to hundreds of dollars a month. The cheats the researchers found range from $10 to a whopping $240 per month. Yeah, why would anyone would want to pay $240 a month to access cheats to use in-game is insane to me. Obviously, the higher the rate, the better the cheating, or at least you would assume anyway. The only people who would be using $240 cheat systems are very likely those who would in theory make money by profiting off whatever it is that they're currently cheating at. Like, say, Battlefield 6, or who knows, it probably exists for stuff like poker too that you can play online as well. And according to that paper, around 174,000 users at the very least are buying these cheats just from these websites alone that use paid subscription models. And those cheats are actively harming the integrity of online gaming, and Battlefield 6 has a major problem that they do need fixing. That is, if they want their game to live and continue to make them millions of dollars. That same Riley that started this video also ended up getting banned on Twitch, but has also been unbanned already, as this Forbes article states. Riley would also post a second gameplay clip, this time with their hands shown on the mouse to show that they were not cheating, but even then people were not convinced. Frankly, if you ask me, the whole thing stinks, and I think it's only a matter of time before someone like Riley gets caught slipping up and just ends up in a YouTube streamer cheating montage in a few months from now. And it would be in EA and DICE's best interest to ensure that Battlefield 6 is smooth for launch, as seen here from Alania Analytics. That open beta was a massive boon to Battlefield 6's popularity and their pre-order sales numbers, as Alania Analytics details here around 62% of the players who either wish-listed or pre-ordered Battlefield 6 have also played many Call of Duty titles in the past too, and the rest is combined from other popular multiplayer games. And according to that report, between just July 25th to 30th, Battlefield 6 was averaging 95,000 to 150,000 wish lists per day on Steam alone. Insane, I know. Analia Analytics still believes, however, that Call of Duty Black Ops 7 will still outperform Battlefield 6 regardless of all this positivity stuff going on. They say that this mostly comes down to the fact that COD is just a yearly purchase for many casual fans, as they state here. That fans will buy Call of Duty even if they complain about the game, but the big reason why COD dominates is its free-to-play mode Warzone, which Battlefield 6 will be running up against at full price when it releases. This is why I would also agree with Alania on this too, that Battlefield 6 will launch with the multiplayer and campaign, but it's also getting Battle Royale, but it won't be available right away. However, if EA and DICE really want to combat COD for the top spot, they need to ensure that Battlefield's Battle Royale mode is completely free, just like Warzone is. Because the other big reason why Call of Duty games sell so much, despite doing the same things over and over, is because each game is advertised for free, obviously, via Warzone's menus and screens. And much of the content that you buy in these other games can also be used in Warzone. So these people buy these games to get their weapons and all their unlocks and whatnot, because to them, they're investing in the game and its ecosystem even further. Which obviously, by promoting and doing all of that, that exposes the game, like Call of Duty, I mean, to millions of other potential buyers every time that a new game gets announced and subsequently gets released. And Battlefield obviously needs to capitalize on this idea as well if it also wants a winning chance. Because unless your name is Call of Duty or Battlefield, chances are if you're a multiplayer game shooter coming out now, you're not going to exist very long unless you're also free to play. But as Rolling Stone says here, Battlefield might just be the cure to Call of Duty fatigue for FPS players. But this will ultimately come down to whether DICE is able to make a Battlefield game actually work at release. Unlike the previous 2 installments, which were released as buggy, agenda-ridden
Rosie,
messes, and that's
Sketches
putting
says
that
hi.
lightly. As for select people calling the Battlefield community transphobic, I think it's very clear that people are
Hi,
just
Rosie.
sick of this sort of
goes
nonsense
it?
in their gaming communities. And the cold reality these types need to realize is that their constant victim shaming tactics are just not going to work anymore. Especially since these groups within these communities often cry that other groups don't accept them. But I mean, when your
Rosie,
response to any
Sketches
sort
says
of
I am good.
criticism is to claim that the other group is some level
That's
of
good.
buzzword or want them banned even, the response that you're getting is because you're insufferable to deal with. Look, Battlefield 6 should and can be played by anyone. That being said, if you're just going to carpet bomb your detractors with annoying buzzwords, you can't really get mad if people push back because, frankly, everyone is tired of it. There was also the story from
Rosie,
Reddit where a
Sketches
user
says
showed
nice
how in
side
order
duck.
to play Battlefield 6 on PC, they were prompted by the game that they couldn't play it unless they deleted Valorant, which in case you don't know, that's another multiplayer game.
Thank you.
The reason
Hold
for
on.
this is another
I was
issue
doing a
that is
study, but I got
uniquely
lost
going
doing
to annoy
something.
PC
We did
players more in the
this.
future, which is that games like Valorant and Battlefield have
I
their
was
own
trying to recreate it.
kernel-level anti-cheat systems. In Battlefield's case, their anti-cheat is called Javelin. Valorant has their own, it's called Vanguard. Both systems need full access pretty much to your PC to ensure that nothing shady is going on. So clearly, what happened here was both games wanted access to the very heart of this user's PC to work, but only one could theoretically exist to consume the heart of the PC and not both. So in doing so, Battlefield 6 needed Valorant gone in order to work properly. Again, not really a problem for console users maybe, but on PC anyways, this could become more common in the future, and it could get annoying really fast if you need to keep deleting other multiplayer games, because they all have their own anti-cheat systems that the other game needs access to your PC to work. It's just a big headache all around, I know. But as you can see right now, Battlefield 6 is still shaping up to be one of, if not the biggest game releases of 2025. It's still going to make millions, and millions will be playing it when it drops, but if Battlefield doesn't fix its cheating problem amidst all the other things, none of that is going to mean anything if people abandon it like those studies said users do because of cheating. Those holes in the ship need to be fixed, otherwise it's just going to sink, and the more you allow these cheaters to exist, the players will just mass exodus away to other games and of course spend less money on your game instead. And to prove this before closing out the video, as seen here in just 1 month after Black Ops 6's release, Activision already lost nearly half of their player base. So how does that happen, you might think? It's cheaters, obviously. The cheating was so bad on Call of Duty Black Ops 6 that it hampered Activision's sales dramatically post-launch. They even actually ended up suing the creators of popular hacks that were being used in Call of Duty, as seen here from IGN, due to how much it was affecting their bottom line. These cheats, by the way, are called Liraware and Gamehook, and they aren't just used for aimbot, by the way. It's actually far worse than that, as IGN details here. Both hacks include a set of self-titled toxic functions, including features that let users kick other players from Activision multiplayer servers, sometimes referred to as a rage cheat, or even crash multiplayer servers entirely. Gamehook also lets players cheat by using aimbots, which causes weapons to automatically hit opponents, and ESP bots, which identify opponent positions and allow players to see through walls or other obstacles. Again, this already ruined Black Ops 6, turning that game into a cheater paradise, so people left. Despite the game being the highest selling in the series, it didn't really matter in the end. So how long until this similar thing hits Battlefield 6? It's not like EA has multiple new entries in Battlefield in development that'll come out every year, at least that we know of. So they need this game to work properly and land correctly, but if cheats like this can crush servers and kick people out mid-game, if they're doing too good against a cheater, I guess. I mean, what hope does multiplayer gaming even have in the future? I guess time will tell, but it is important to address these things now instead of later. As for the transphobia nonsense, I think anyone trying to defend Riley by using that is a moron, and this has nothing to do with identity and everything to just do with the integrity of the game and its players instead. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, subscribe to keep up to date, and I'll see you next time.
Alright, that's the end of that. It is now 7. Okay, so I want to play one more video. This won't be long. Like I said, I want to leave on a positive note. I don't like leaving on a bunch of negative shit. I don't think that makes sense. So here's this 4-minute clip. It's something from One Piece. I'm not really sure what this is about, but I'm gonna play this for you. It's like a little One Piece thing. It's like a special. So this is how it goes. Oh wait, it's not in English. I don't think anyone. No, we can't do this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. I would know some of you will like watch it in sub, but 1, the screen's small. 2, it's hard to see already. I'm not gonna do that to y'all. That would be just evil, I think, in my opinion. So what I'll do is just something positive. Okay, so you know what? Focus on choice the expert. It's like positive. Hello, Danny. Hello, Danny. Hello. Hold on. We got one last video. Okay. I guess this is not technically positive, but it will be funny. So this is 8 minutes long. Once the 8 minutes is done, we're going to go play Fate Trigger. I don't think we can, but I'm going to check. If we can't play it, we'll play Peak.
TikTok is the herald of doom, a window into the soul of the modern woman that's obsessed with social media.
I don't think there's anything harder than finding a liberal boyfriend.
No, that's very easy to find a liberal boyfriend. Majority of most men are pretty liberal. I think it's hard to find a conservative man that's going to tell you the truth that he's being conservative without being canceled. So no, I don't speak no Spanish.
Where is he? Where is he?
The duality of the modern woman. Seeking a liberal boyfriend, but also wanting him to be masculine, strong, and take charge.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
These two things don't go together.
Nope.
That's like saying I want an attack dog, but it has to be a poodle. It just doesn't exist. In fact, there goes my attack dog. Don't you try and break in this house. That little dog will chew your ankles to bits. Let's just be real here. There are tons of liberal men dying for dates with women. Lord knows I've met them, and many of them despise me. But the thing is, women aren't attracted to them, which is the odd part of the equation. Why would you not be attracted to the man that you said you want? It's almost as if Women do the opposite of what they say. Case in point, here's an example of a liberal man out in the wild, hanging out with this former Twitch dot that wanted $5 for people to watch her crap.
I'm getting your attention. I feel like I touched like a vampire touching holy water.
Can I help you?
Well, I think they want to go in.
Okay.
Look at how repulsive she finds him. But this man is as liberal as they come. Even though he looks like a little gremlin. And the fact that he's so enamored with this chick. She looks like an angry pit bull with aviator glasses on. But to him, she's cream of the crop. She's the pick of the litter. And still, he's not good enough.
I'm getting your attention.
Could you imagine being this awkward with a woman at his age? My God, this was years ago and he looks old as shit. Oh, well, whatever.
That's the same
there you
person?
go. That's a liberal guy. This is what this chick should be shooting for. LA's full of them. New York's full of them. Not upstate New York, though.
Who of my people are you guys having liberal boyfriends? Who has a liberal boyfriend? Raise your hand. Where'd you find him? It's such a problem for me. It really is. It really is a problem. And if you don't understand why it's a problem, then you just don't get it.
I'm 100% sure the problem is she's not attracted to the liberal men that are interested in her.
Not even a liberal, like maybe like a Democrat, like a registered Democrat. I just want to find a dude that voted for Kamala Harris. I'm really struggling.
There's tons of dudes.
There's tons of dudes who posted themselves that they voted for this woman. What are you talking about? There's a bunch of these motherfuckers who said they did it. Actually, if I remember right, I think it was a bunch of, well, I don't know if she has a preference of like race, but like there was a bunch of black men who were shamed at the fact that some of them did not vote for Harris, and a lot of them came out of nowhere and said they did.
Who voted for Kamala Harris? What is she talking about?
So as we're all very much aware, we are living through a chopped man epidemic.
What the hell is a chopped man? Oh my God, let me look this up.
I think chopped means like you're ugly. I think that's what that term means.
There's even an article.
What the is a chopped man epidemic? Men are apparently uglier now. Hard to prove, more pointless to debate about. How did we get here on Gender Wars?
Oh, we got here very simply. We gave women too much praise the last few years. Now every average looking chick thinks she's a dime.
Yeah, because all they need to do is just put on a stupid Spider-Man outfit, go on Instagram. They don't even need a fucking OnlyFans, and they just usually, if you're semi-decent in the face or like semi-thick or semi-anything, pretty much the cream of the crop at that point in most men's eyes, because it's just horrible.
The fact that this broad right here is talking about men being chopped is utterly ridiculous. You have bog standard Skyrim Asian telling you you're not good enough.
And there's
Skyrim Asian. What?
Big shortage of baddies. It's gone so bad to the point that, like, if I see an attractive man, it genuinely makes my day.
This girl is cross-eyed, talking about how
Right?
men are not attractive enough.
Right?
This motherfucker. I mean, the nerve, the temerity.
I was walking on the sidewalk earlier, and I saw a cute guy in his car, so I waved to him, and he smiled back at me, and obviously he drove away after that.
Yeah, what does that tell you? The dude you thought was hot, he was nice enough to go, thank you very much, Asian woman with, you know, rosacea, good day to you, Ling Ling, and he drove off. And you're like, I wonder what... It couldn't be your average, too. I see why there's so many dudes getting passports now, and every guy I know is like, I'm never getting married, or all the guy friends I have that had a divorce, like, I'm never marrying a woman again. It's because of this. Could you imagine a woman this basic being so goddamn big-headed?
But I was like, oh my God, a cute guy? This was at 6:50 p.m. It's 7:17, and I'm still like, oh my God. And I feel like this is going to power me through my evening. Like, wow, I actually saw an attractive man today. Like, diamond in the rough, needle in the haystack.
Bro, I tell you something. If an average man on the same caliber of this woman said the same exact thing, he will get raked by the coals, bro. Raked. Raked. I'm telling you, if an average dude or less, or exactly the same level as this woman said the same exact fucking thing, he will be destroyed. He probably lose his job. That's what's wild about this. This is crazy.
Seriously.
This is femcell energy. Oh my god, I'm gonna think about this guy for days on end because you get absolutely no play. And the people that are interested in you...
We need to call it that. We need to call it femcell. Yeah, and so we gotta call it femcell. That's a thing. That should be a thing.
...are probably in your lane, but you think you're too good for them.
You know what I want to see more of on this app is 30-year-old women being honest about how disappointing it is to go out at this big age. Because all you want to do is get cute, reconnect with nature, be social, but alas, we share a planet with the worst thing that has ever happened to humankind. Men in their 30s.
Bro, I tell you something. If there was an invasion right now of aliens or other countries coming to this country and trying to invade, just how Russia did to Kyiv, you should remember to yourself the things these women said, and don't throw yourself to save any of them. Let them figure it out on their own. And if they say, if you run to them and say, will you help me? And it's like, no, I'm too ugly, and ran off, he'll think to himself, man, I should have never called that dude up. Or made those videos. But they'll never put like logic to Kita to that. They'll be like, he just hates women. I'm like, oh god. If men said exactly the same shit women said.
I feel attacked. Women in their 30s are quite the conundrum because if they're social media obsessed, you are dealing with the most narcissistic creature on the planet. Women in their 30s in this day and age use lip fillers and they like inject their face, so these women have more plastic in their bodies than the rivers of Bangladesh. Probably has a spicy fans account. The type of chick who gets surgery on her feet because she's so vain. Oh my god. And the fake breast. Dude, do not tell a woman with fake boobs they're not that nice.
I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but the anger I get from making eye contact with a man is like so ridiculous sometimes.
The anger?
Look at the hives I just got literally just from making eye contact with a man. I literally feel so disgusted. I feel like...
See?
Wow.
See? If you're not a guy she's attracted to and you look at her, she feels assaulted for some reason. Also, the hives on your neck could be from that cheap-ass necklace, girl.
You know, and this is the scariest part, because if you're a rich man and you're decent, or you're very good looking and you're rich, and you piss off any of these you piss off any of these women, and they feel slighted in a way that their ego is totally destroyed, they will fuck your shit up. It just takes one accusation, bro. They'll fuck your shit up so fast.
Look at how mentally unhinged she is. She's completely off her rocker. But if I sit here and say she's nuttier than a pile of squirrel shit, I'm the misogynist. It's absolutely insane.
It stresses me out. Don't look at me!
Thank God I didn't get accepted into the Marines, because I know I would have died. And if I would have died for this, and you'd be dead, but what if you die and you actually have a soul or whatnot, and you find out, this would bother me. To think about all the men that have sacrificed themselves to create this great country, and this is where we're headed. To women having full-blown temper tantrums as if they're just hitting the terrible twos in their car from being looked at in the gym. If you don't want to be seen in a public place, here's a crazy idea, honey. Work out at home, you psychopath. And still, we're gonna sit there and go, women are amazing. They're fantastic. Men are the garbage ones. And I'm not saying women are garbage, but I am saying that a lot of women today on social media are unhinged, and it just adds to that. Social media just seems to be making our women crazier and crazier and crazier. It's just shitty to be a man right now. It's terrible.
53. It has been several years. Where are all the good men? I'm tired of being alone. I want to share my life with someone. I am just freaking tired.
Lady, I've seen this chick complain before. I'm not even going through the rest of the video. You're 53 years old. I'm pretty sure she was married before but got divorced. Like, it's kind of over, honey. You're not going to find someone that wants to spend the rest of your life with you unless it's a guy you don't think is attractive. And most women cannot fathom the idea of being with someone they don't find hyper attractive. They can't do it, even when they look like this. Even when they're like 2 days older than dirt, looking every bit of 53, she's still shooting for a guy that's like, she's shooting for Jeff Bezos, basically.
All right. So with that
All right,
said,
ladies and gentlemen,
hey,
today's
hey,
video.
Hey, shut up. With that said, we're gonna go and see if we can play Fate. If for some reason I can't get Fate on because probably they turned it off. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna check. Well, no, it's gonna extreme Fate. I'm gonna see if they have Fate. If we can't get on Fate, maybe they turn off the servers. Probably. Or so. We'll play Peak. So you'll know based on the game that pops up. So I'm gonna restart the stream. We're gonna stream this on I'll say on TikTok and YouTube. If TikTok ain't pulling it, I'll stream it on Twitch and YouTube. Or so. Alright, I'll be right back.